What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. I'm here today with my co-host Mike Williams, and we're going to take and talk about NFC EAST draft grades. You guys comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Each team in this division is going to take and get a draft grade. We're not covering UDFAs. That's another episode for another day. NFC EAST. First team we're going to take and talk about today is the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see how the Cowboys did, man. So we're going to be referencing today an article from MSN.com that has every single team, every draft pick that was selected over this past weekend. First one is 26 overall pick, Mazi Smith, D tackle. Man, the rich got richer, man. The Cowboys, look, they made it to playoffs last year and didn't do so hot in the playoffs, but this year, I love what they did, man. Mazi Smith is a mauler. He gets the quarterback, great at stopping the run. Then they got Luke Schoonmaker, tight end out of Michigan, tested extremely well. I mean, the combine, he came alive. Not super impressive statistically, but also you see the few times he did get the ball this year, he lit the world on fire. This is a guy who is I would say Jason Witten clone, man. This guy is really good. Not saying he's going to be Jason Witten, but he's pretty good. Then there's DeMarvion Overshown, linebacker, Texas. He's 6'4". He's quick, bats down passes, gets to the quarterback, and hits you so hard you might want to call 911. Then there's Viliami Fehoko, DN, San Jose State. Asim Richards, offensive tackle, North Carolina. Eric Scott Jr., Southern Mississippi. Deuce Vaughn, Kansas State. That draft pick almost made me cry because you saw his dad works there in the back office, and I'm emotional. But I love that pick. I've been a Deuce Vaughn fan for months, been following him for a while. I was like, who's this guy who's 5'5", who's knocking over dudes 10 inches taller than him? Guy's a beast. Then they got Jalen Brooks, wide receiver out of South Carolina, man. They filled a lot of holes. I am going to take and give the Dallas Cowboys a solid B+. I feel like there were a few better picks they could have gotten that 7th round pick, along with a few others. But overall, I really like how they did. Mike, where you got him at?
Yeah, I like him. I like this draft. I'll give him a solid B. I agree with the article, honestly. Mazi Smith, big physical D tackle. Luke Schoonmaker, I think, is an absolute monster. DeMarvion Overshown is a guy at 6'5", like 240. Can play inside rush, outside rush. Him and Michael Parsons is going to be nightmares for some teams. And then I like that pick of Deuce Vaughn as well. Aside from those picks, the rest of them, I'm not sure if they'll make the roster. But I do think they addressed a few positions in need. Tight end was one that they went in there with, and Dalton Kincaid was their target. But I'm definitely excited to see what they're going to do. I think that was a solid draft for them.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. All right, then the next team we're going to take and talk about is the New York Giants. New York, stand up. All right, we got Deonte Banks, cornerback, Maryland. John Michael Schmitz, center, Minnesota. This guy, John Michael Schmitz, oh, man, one of the best centers in this whole draft, man. Love him. They had Muhammad Ibrahim, and he was the starting running back over there, broke all kinds of records. But you got to shout out guys like John Michael Schmitz, who laid the ground level for him to have those type of record-breaking games and seasons kind of thing. So that's a huge pickup for the Giants. Then they got Jalen Wyatt. Potentially the best receiver in the draft, but he was in the conversation, man. Depending on who you talk to, he is the best in the draft, but we're going to see how that pans out. But man, I love the pick. Jalen Hyatt is such a speedster, and he's going to get play his rookie year. Then there's Eric Gray, running back, Oklahoma. Eric Gray is literally Alvin Kamara to me when you watch him on tape. He can do it all. He can catch. He's elusive, make people fall down. He can do it all. Friend of the show, both Mike and I and our the co-host Adrian, we've all interviewed him. This guy is going to go far in the league. I know it's Saquon's team, but if Saquon decides to bounce in a year or two, I expect Eric Gray to be running back number 1. So not only do they have a guy there for depth right now who they can learn from, but also I expect him to be with the Giants for a very long time. Great pickup. And Eric Gray, in my opinion, that guy probably should have been taken as early as second, probably would have been reached, but 3rd round. So for him to fall the way like he did, I love the pickup. Then you got Trey Hawkins III, Old Dominion. Very physical cornerback. I love that pickup. Then there's Jordan Riley, D tackle from Oregon. Javarius Owens, safety, Houston. The article gives it a B+. I am going to take and give it a solid B-. I feel like they could have did a little better with a few of these picks, but B- where I got them at. Mike, how about you?
I love their first three picks. Deontay Bank addresses a big need at corner. John Michael Smith, like we've universally in my mind the best setter in this draft.
Yeah.
Jalen Hyatt was an absolute dog at Tennessee with Hendon Hooker, and of course, friend of the show Eric Gray. So those are four picks I absolutely love. What I didn't love is that they didn't add more receiving weapons. I think they could have added more receiving weapons. Obviously, they got Darren Waller from the Raiders, etc. But they missed on a few receivers in the past. I think I would have liked to see them at least double down. They did get an undrafted free agent receiver that should have been drafted, so maybe that's their thought. They saw some people side that they could have signed, but I think I'll give them a solid B. And Eric Gray, I think, could worst case scenario be a spell back, injury back if something happens to Saquon. Saquon did stay relatively healthy last year. If Saquon decides to not sign his franchise tag, then I'm gonna like this draft a lot more because Eric Gray will be 1,000-yard rusher if he's starting for the Giants.
I love it. I love that breakdown. Love it. All right. Then we got the Philadelphia Eagles. All right. NFC champions, man. Let's see. The article gives them an A+. They got Jalen Carter. I can't talk today. Jalen Carter, D tackle, Georgia. Nolan Smith, edge rusher, Georgia. Tyler Steen, offensive tackle, Alabama. Sidney Brown, safety, Illinois. Kylie Ringo, cornerback, Georgia. Tanner McKee, quarterback, Stanford. Moro Ojomo, DN, Texas. That guy, Moro Ojomo, man, I love watching him. He had so many big moments at Texas. I am going to match the article. I don't have a whole lot to say here, folks. A+ for the Philadelphia Eagles. If you'll, I don't know. I love everything they did. Mike, what about you, man?
Man, if this was Naruto, they would have got an S on their draft, like S rated. This draft was the best draft in my opinion. I think they got an A++. Obviously, Jalen Carter's a dog will come in and start right away, rotating with Jordan Davis. They still got Fletcher Cox. Nolan Smith will come in and rotate right away. They also traded for DeAndre Swift in this draft as well. So I feel like adding more weapons during the draft. Tyler Steen, I think, can come in, develop a little bit this year. Will probably be a starter next year, a guard or tackle. Sidney Brown, very physical. His brother was a running back that got drafted as well. So definitely was good to see that. And then Moro Ojomo, I thought is a guy that is going to be a good rotational guy from Texas. So, man, I think they hit it out the park. Every single player they drafted. Keely Ringo, I forgot to mention, real physical corner. I like their plan of drafting guys that can come contribute, drafting other people that will redshirt a year, then come in and start, like they did with Nakobe Dean last year. He'll start this year. Howie Roseman is continuing to finesse the draft, and people need to stop that man. Somebody needs to stop the Eagles from this draft.
Hey, Mike, man, I don't know if you heard, they got shirts out there that take and say the Philadelphia Bulldogs.
Man, they're on to something, man.
They're on to something, man. I think if this works out, Mike, this could literally be a copycat move. You know, it's a copycat league. You know, they're hiring that coach for finesse. Oh, okay, let me copy, and maybe it'll work. People are always trying to think out of the box, man. And man, shout out to Howie Roseman, man. He did the dang thing on the draft, man. He did fantastic. So A+. Matter of fact, you know what, Mike? I know we did a NFC West. I said I had the Seahawks as my favorite. No, I get to Eagles. They won the draft, man. They did good, man. All right, then we got the Washington Commanders. Take command. Let's see what they got. So the 16th pick in the first round, I want to take a moment to appreciate his greatness. Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback from Mississippi State. I know a lot of guys wanted the what was the guy who went to the Patriots, Colombian dude from Oregon?
Oh, Christian.
Yeah, they wanted Christian. And look, I think, in my opinion, Emmanuel Forbes behind Devon Witherspoon is probably the best DB in this whole entire draft. Emmanuel Forbes can do it all, man. And this is a guy, he's long, lanky, strong, scrappy, attacks the point of the ball, the high point of the ball. I mean, just everything that you could want, he does it, man. This is a guy, I think he's going to be a commander for a very long time. Then you got Jartavius Martin, cornerback from Illinois. He was really good. That whole secondary over in Illinois is doing some amazing things, man. And, you know, kind of how like Syracuse is producing a lot of really good DBs. I think you got to look at Illinois as well, too, as being one of those schools. They're producing a lot of good DBs. So Jartavius Martin, I feel like that was an early grab. I feel like he would have been there a little later, but Very good pickup nonetheless. And hey, go get your guy, right? Ricky Stromberg, center, coming out of Arkansas. Very familiar with that name. Great mauler, great on the great pass blocker, very good on the run game as well too. But I think pass blocking is more his forte. Then there's Braden Daniels, offensive guard, Utah. KJ Henry, DN Clemson. Chris Rodriguez coming out of Kentucky. Those who may not know me, I'm half Puerto Rican, so anytime I see any Boricuas in the league, man, I always get super, super duper excited, man. So, man, shout out to Chris Rodriguez, man. That guy, he is amazing. He's from Jersey originally. High motor, and I'm shocked. It's disrespectful that he slid so far all the way down 6th round. So shout out to the Commanders for getting a very good running back. Then you got Andre Jones, edge rusher, coming out of Louisiana. That's a great pickup as well too. The article gives it a B- from MSN.com. I'm going to take a step further. I'm going to take and give them a solid B. There's a few areas where they reached a little bit. They could have got maybe perhaps some better players, but I loved it. Wasn't a super sexy draft for them. But they beefed up that O-line. They got a center. They got a guard. They beefed up the secondary. You can never have enough cornerbacks neither, man. And then they got Chris Rodriguez. Man, I love that. That's probably the biggest steal for them. Then Emmanuel Forbes, potentially the best DB in the draft. So I give them a solid B. Love what they did. Mike, how about you, man?
Yeah, I'm going to give them a B, but for a different reason. I love going back-to-back at corner. I love going back-to-back on the offensive line, and then I like coming back and getting KJ Henry. Like, I think they did a phenomenal job in that. But something I think that they really whiffed on is this is the deepest tight end draft in the last 10 years. They had a big need at tight end, and they didn't draft one tight end. That was a little bit baffling to me. There was a number of tight ends. Yeah, there was a number of tight ends I think they could have drafted to kind of help out that team a little bit. New starting quarterback, tight end is your safety blanket. I think they could have helped them out a little bit there, but I'll give them a B. Again, I like that addressing their secondary. I like addressing their line. Those are two things that, get after you take receivers out the game, allows your pass rush to get there, keep your quarterback upright, allows him to make plays. I do like that. But again, the tight end would have been a huge thing. Okay. I think they could have potentially drafted a bigger receiver. I've been talking about it for years. And again, they got receivers. They got Terry McLaurin. They got these receivers that they do have, but they're all like 5'11", 6 foot kind of guys. I think they could have got a bigger receiver. I would have liked them like a Jalen Hyatt or, one of those guys. So, again, I like this draft overall, but I'm going to give them a B.
Okay. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. And you pointed out something I didn't even catch, Mike. So, man, good looking out on that. Yeah, they have some decent tight ends and stuff like that, but there's everything from inconsistencies to injury. And then they have this guy who's like 6'7", who was an ex-basketball player. His name is passed on my head. He's from like Peru or something like that. But he hasn't been able to produce on the field kind of thing. So hopefully he gets some more PT, man, as I want to see. It's coming his 3rd year in the NFL. So very interesting. Guys, hit that subscribe button. That's it for our AFC East draft grades. Let us know your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Should Mike went harder? Should I went harder? Did we go too soft? I mean, talk to us, y'all. So, but hit that subscribe button. Also, as well, like I said, we have interviews pretty frequently on the show, usually during the pre-draft series. So, January through April, this is one of the best places on the internet right here to get pre-draft content. So, God bless you guys. Catch you next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith. Jesus loves you. Peace. Thanks for watching another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, where I cover all 32 NFL teams plus NFL exclusive interviews. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for the alerts, comment below, and we'll catch you next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith.